Champagne kisses and caviar dreams is what I think of when I think of this car. This is our 2009 Bentley Azure. 2009 is the last year of the Bentley Azure. This is a special, I don't know if it's called special wishes, a special request color anthracite for the exterior. I've been trying to dig to figure out the name of the hide used throughout the interior. It is very similar in color to the anthracite on the exterior, which of course you can see. This is dark stained burled walnut for the interior, and this car is like new. We purchased this from the original owner that took delivery from Vancouver Bentley, or Bentley Vancouver, also known as MCL Motor Car. They have had the car since new. We purchased it in 2025. It has 1,700 miles on the car, or 2,300 kilometers. We have the service records going back to new from the original dealer. We inspected and serviced it in preparation for sale, installed new tires, repaired a blemish on one of the rims, and then did a full detail. And then, fortunately, we took it out on the road, and I spent a short weekend here in our town driving the car around. It is spectacular in every way. You can see through the photos, but I will tell you that the condition of the exterior of the car and the paint, the convertible top, the seats, the leather, the carpets, the wood, all of which has been properly stored. It was obviously properly stored and is in phenomenal condition. So this video is just gonna help you get better eyes on the car, a different perspective of it, try and get a feel for it being that you're not here. And I'll show you the operation of some of the pieces of the interior, the finishings, just the exquisite workmanship that goes into Bentley and Rolls-Royce. Credit where credit is due. It's just next level, and you get what you pay for, and that certainly is the case with this 2009 Bentley Azure with 1,700 miles. No Carfax claims, no weird history, just a beautiful example of an extremely low mileage, iconic car from Bentley. The 09 Bentley Azure, or the end, 09 would be the last of the Bentley Azure, then it was the Azure T, and then they were done. This came from a transitional period through the Volkswagen Group, Bentley and Rolls-Royce, and as I said, end of an era, end of the model, the platform that it was based on, and I believe a pretty interesting time in transition as to what they were doing with motors between Bentley, Rolls-Royce, and the Volkswagen Group. But more specifically, 2009, that is a time when we were dreaming of and thinking of just iconic cars that had come out. And the Bentley Azure, this car in Canada was $580,000, over $500,000 for the car, which today is what you would probably pay, well, it's not quite, but what you would pay for a new Bentley Continental GT. But the era in which these cars were built and the way that these cars were built, I would say in comparison to modern cars, is just next level, is very nostalgic, and is just very Bentley. The technology for 2009 that was in the car, contrasted by the way in which the Bentley finishes an interior with metal switches or metal knobs and real buttons, and they weren't all about screens. There is a pop-up screen in the dash, but essentially just for either navigation or backing up. The finishing is unreal. The leather condition is exceptional, and all of which is very indicative of the car having 1,700 miles. A 2009 Bentley Azure. So not only is it the last year of production for the Azure, it is in this insanely gorgeous anthracite metallic paint with the gray interior and the burled wood, but 1,700 miles from new. This was a one owner. This came to us from the one owner. We sent the car back to its original selling dealer, which is MCL in Vancouver, or Bentley Vancouver. Had them inspect the car. Not surprisingly, we did some work on the roof, just on the mechanism. all these systems, SLs, and all the cars from this generation. Usually there's a point in which you need to service the roof. That's just normal. So we did that. New tires. There was a curbed wheel we refinished. You can't even tell. Has its original books and keys. We have its service records, but just an unreal history, an unreal presentation, spectacular example of a Bentley Azure and an end of production Bentley Azure. We feel very fortunate to have it. So there is not a blemish on the car. I've got nothing to point out to you. This is not going to be like a lot of our videos for our listings where I pick out the little things here and there. There's nothing to show you other than the beautiful lines of the last model year of the Bentley Azure in striking colors and with just 1,700 miles. So with that said, let's go through the car and just check out some of the really interesting features. Actually, there probably is a Doug DeMuro video, and that would probably be one to watch along with this one. But so many interesting features inside the interior of the car that are very complementary to the finishings, but then the exterior and the lines of the car as well. So let's do that. I'm gonna guess a lot of people that are gonna watch this video maybe haven't experienced Bentley or Rolls-Royce. I keep putting them together, but the attention to detail and the quality in all the small spaces on the finishing of one of these cars just is another level. And when you either want to treat yourself to it or you've experienced all the other cars and you're ready for something new, whatever it is, the luxury and the details on these cars is exquisite. And everything from the way they run. These aren't cars that you necessarily talk about horsepower and 0 to 60 and foot-pounds of torque. I mean, it is impressive, both from the 12 cylinders and the 8 cylinders, but that's not really what it's about. It's about having enough power that you can go everywhere, do everything you want, pass whoever you need to pass. But of course, they're not performance cars. So I'm just gonna get into the interior. I'm gonna show you some of these things and just talk about it. First off, when you get into the car and you go to grab the handle on the exterior, you'll note that on the inside of the handle, which is usually just a smooth surface on all cars, you can feel that the interior has been knurled and then polished, so it's completely smooth. Next part is the release of the latch of the door. The doors are extremely heavy on these cars and completely solid. The opening and closing of one of these is unlike other manufacturers. So opening the door, massive entry into the car, huge space. You'll notice here that there's a rear handle on both doors. This is for the people getting out of the rear seat. You'll notice that the rear seats in this car are massive, and this is actually, I'm going to say this is probably equal to the size of a rear seat of a four-door Tacoma. Massive space for your passengers and your rear passengers. You'll notice when you're getting in on that side, the functions for the seat, the memory seats, 14-way heated power seats. And then as you sit down into the car, one of the first things that I notice is what I would imagine is aluminum brake pedal and gas or accelerator and the emergency brake. You've got in the door here, you've got your buttons for your garage door at home. You'll see the name speaker, and then everything that presents to you is simple and feels from the day of old. Of course, these are digital buttons that have a tactile feel to them. They're not haptic. You've got a single DIN display here for your entertainment, though you do have a pop-up screen up here. But the combination between all the metal used on your window switches, on the gear selector, the leather wrapping it, the Bentley button and emblem on top, the hand stitching on your airbag cover, two-tone interior hide, so you've got a dark leather on top and a light leather on the bottom, is everything from your temperature control the knurled dial down here. Any car, I think a lot of us, I'll generalize, say car guys, and of course there's lots of women into cars, but I'd say the majority are men. Car people, let's go with that. That you open up your armrests on luxury cars from back in the day, and here is our phone connector. This is our display for controlling the phone that connects through the main system. I believe this is for your SIM card, if you can remember the days of SIM cards. And something that our video man was just commenting on is that the feel of everything and the way you touch everything inside the car just feels different in a Bentley. So let's start the car. I don't know the name of what they called their xenon lights in 2009 for Bentley, but the camera at some point will probably show that the daytime running lights are also the main headlamps, and they are xenon bulbs. The backlighting through all of the gauges is that beautiful orange that we know from BMW and Volkswagen. I already talked about the dark stained burl walnut. All of the electronics all have these beautiful panels that cover everything up. These are things that are normally broken on these cars with normal or higher mileage. So here's our climate control settings, and then our radio. The radio sounds phenomenal. I'm not going to crank it right now, but I've always got it on country music. Up here is where you're going to find the switch to pop up your screen. I love that. I wish that was in today's cars, where you can hide the screen for most of your use. I think they're generally ugly, and I don't want to see them. So to be able to pop that up, that'll show your navigation. And then I'll also show you your backup camera, which is actually quite good for 2009. So we pop that back down. The faces of all the dials, are an off-white, or something you'd see on watch faces a lot. It's got a heritage, I don't want to say patina, but heritage color off-white to all the dials. The markings on all of them are just like a watch. They're beautiful. Your main cluster here is the main ring is in kilometers, but then the inner ring is in miles. And then you've got your tachometer here on the right-hand side, traditional setup. Everything, as I said, is just exquisite on the interior. Everything works exactly the way it should. And there's no disappointments in all the luxury that you could hope for. This is an extremely great purchase for anyone that is in a warm climate down in the US or out of country. This moves to Europe or anywhere else easily as well. So I'm going to now move to operation of the top, and we'll move the camera a little bit, show you the operation of the top, and then I think we'll probably wrap up this video. All right, so here's the top operation. Key in the ignition. And I'm just using the switch in the center console, much like every car, just holding the switch. I don't know if we probably didn't film this, so I'll just mention it now. But the entire headliner is a matching gray Alcantara headliner. So I just wanted to demonstrate the headlights. I'm not sure if we caught them. I don't know why, and maybe it's just a Bentley thing, but those headlights, the contrast between the xenon headlight and then the halogens to me is beautiful. I really like it. So here's with the headlights on. This is with the xenon low beams, and then there's your high beams. And then if we wanted just to go to the parking lights, which is, those really feel like parking lights from the 60s when you just had small little halogen bulbs. That to me is parking lights. Anyway, there's your parking lights or running lights, and then that's it. So headlights on, high beams, low beams, parking lights. And I think you all agree, those are beautiful looking headlights. So hopefully through the video, through what you've seen in the interior and the information I've been able to give you, gives you or provides you with a lot of insight as to this car. There is not a story to tell. This really is a 1,700-mile car. This was delivered new in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. We purchased it from the original owner. We then had it inspected, and then we serviced it. We did new tires, and then we detailed the car and had it prepared for service. We actually repaired the amplifier, and so everything works on the car exactly the way it should. It presents like a new car. Everything else around the car is phenomenal. Everything works on it. Even when you get into the console and you see the original cell phone and all of the wood, there's no cracking, there's no distortion in color. All the leather feels as new, everything functions as new. It isn't new. It is a 2009 Bentley Azure. Clean Carfax, clean history, no paint work. And we have service records going back as far as we could, which I believe is 2010 with the original selling dealer. There probably is not a better one on the planet, and we are offering this one out of our showroom here in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. I can ship this anywhere it needs to go, overseas, Middle East, South America, whatever it is, that's not a problem. So please reach out if you have any questions whatsoever. I'd love to help you and put this in somebody's garage. I've driven it maybe 50 miles, and I don't know if there's a better experience in a car. We've driven all the fast cars and we love them, but when it comes down to just cruising and just going for a drive, Bentley and Rolls-Royce, they do it right. Thank you, and we'll talk to you next time.